Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I've got to pull this up on my screen and get this put out because I need to capture this. Right. I've just had something to eat as well. Hang on a minute, let's get that all the way across. Don't forget to publicise this. There's a few people who've done different memes. One person I'm really grateful to, done quite a few different memes for different things today. Again, just to let you all know, we had a St George's Day meetup, and I really, really enjoyed it. We didn't really talk about politics at all. It was all about England, the Constitution, and people asking me certain questions, etc. But again, without you, we're nothing. All I am is your mouthpiece. And I just want to make sure I put this out there. We need to get this out and post it as much as we can. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'll come back now. I'm actually looking at my screen. I couldn't see it. And yes, I am in Lancashire, just up the road from a place called Cheshire. Again, we've had some fantastic conversations there today. There was a lot of people. They was all local. Right? When I say local, they're also coming along to the Hustings tomorrow night. There was, I don't know how many people was there today in total, maybe 15 or 20. And again, there's people who've been out delivering leaflets for us. To some extent, I think the post office has probably stitched us up in the local area. We're relying on you to get this message out. What do I mean by that? Well, the post office is controlled by the unions, and the unions are Labour. So when our leaflets, our main distribution leaflets, 44,000 leaflets, most of the people I've spoken to have said, I haven't got one, Greg. Right? So then we've got other people, Martin in particular, many other people. So don't think if I've left your name out of doing the leafleting, we're relying on you. And and again, it's us who funds that. So when these people at the post office bin our leaflets, which they do, the organisation and the structure of what we've got, we're relying on local people to assist us, right? Now, someone earlier on today sent me some questions, and this is from local people, and there's lots of local people coming out tomorrow. So before I do anything else, I want to make sure that you all see this, right, which is that one. All right, so I'm going to share this on the screen. I hope it comes out on the screen. Touch wood, because I can't see this now. I can't see my screen. All I can see was what's in front of me. And you've got Hustings prospective parliamentary candidates Thursday, the 24th of April 2025. Now, after that, we've got one more night after tomorrow night, and then Friday night to get as many people to the action day on Saturday, which I'm going to go through in a couple of minutes, and I've got to send the meme to someone because someone's coming along from alternative media, again, real alternative media, to interview me and show the support levels, and we really need to put that out on other channels so people realise that it is these people who call themselves alternative media are not in alternative media, right? And I don't know, but someone's told me that Sean Atwood did an interview with Britain's first Paul Golding. It'd be interesting to see how many views it's had, right? So if anyone can tell me how many views the live had at the time, it didn't have very many live views. And for someone of his character and how long he's been doing it for, I was quite shocked. His live views at the time was somewhere in the region of 500. We was certainly in excess, I think, of 1,200 that evening, talking to Sean Atwood. And again, Andy the Gabby Cabby has been fantastic. LSB Productions, fantastic. Again, there's another one out there. I want to give them a shout out as well, which is, let me think if I can think who it is. Hang on a minute. Let's get that off the screen. What I don't want to do is show any numbers up here or accidentally transfer my screen. Uh, oh, so I'm sending that link out to everyone. I need to send out the link here to everyone. Send out the link. Where else am I sending the link to? 1, 2, and then here we go. And push that out there as well. Right, so I will be sending that out there. I will be showing you some of the videos. This was us today, and this is only half of us. There was people sitting around the edges and sitting back as well. But we took up an entire bar. And it was fantastic. You know, when you just look at things and you just think, this is exactly why I do what I'm doing. So let me just make sure I show that out to everyone. Right, there's part of it. And again, I am surrounded by. This was quite funny. There was a lot of women there. I remember Robin Tilbrook of the English Democrats once saying to me, "You know, when we do events, we don't get a lot of females. It's nearly all men." And I said, "Well, you're doing something wrong, Robin." And women have generally got a second sense of a fake, right? And we get lots of women and men that turn up and help us. And all of these women are absolutely fantastic, absolute English patriots, and everyone's there. Let me just, so there's one of the shots from that. There's another one which I'll show you. Video. All of them out on talking. We had all the English flags. We had a whole bar to ourselves all the way around. Right, so you got all the different people. Many different people were there, and it went all the way around the park as well. And again, like I say, everyone was helpful. The pub was really helpful. We had we had food from the the pub didn't actually do food, and they was really fantastic. So I'm just making sure everyone understands that. There's other little bits and pieces, but today was not. Again, I want to make sure people understand that today was not about politics. It was St George's Day, in the celebration of St George's Day. I've seen many bits and pieces out there. It's still St George's Day out there. We want to get it all out there and making sure. I mean, I say to people all the time, to me, St George's Day is every day. I celebrate England every day. It's not just once a year, and it's certainly not once every 2 or once every 4 years for the football. Um, England has been a country, one nation under God, for 1100 years. Well, two years shy of 1100. And again, everyone needs to understand exactly who and what we are. And we're not the bad guys; we're the good guys. So again, I had some really good conversations with people. Now, let me go back and show you what I was about to show you in the first place, which was this one. So tomorrow evening, we have got a Hustings. So I'm going to share this with you. It is important because I'm going to be sitting next to the Reform candidate who thinks, as a magistrate and a nodding dog of the establishment for 20 years, putting working class people, all the people, a lot of people I was talking to live in Runcorn today, and Frodsham, I think it is, where we've got our day of action on Saturday. Many of them had Liverpool accents. And I said, so what did you think of Keir Starmer saying that he had to, that he fucking hates Liverpool? And their direct answer to me is, we fucking hate him. So I think the Labour Party might have a bit of a problem. But when I spoke to people about the Sarah Podgin, or whatever her name is, from Reform, Reform definitely do not have the support they're saying they've got. The people I'm talking to are all saying we don't want to vote for them. And the problem that they've got is they don't know about us. So I want to express this to everyone who's listening, right? The English Constitution Party is about presenting a brand of England, right? We've already got a global brand. We exported the English language. We exported English common law, which supported the English Bill of Rights and the Constitution to the United States of America, to Canada, to New Zealand, to Australia. Some say South Africa, but that's not quite right. But everyone out there should understand we are the ones that give people inalienable rights. So our brand is England. I don't think that's a dishonourable thing at all, right? So our nation is England, not a political union. Our nation is England, and our manifesto is the English Constitution, your rights. And that's exactly what, if you're going to have a political party, every single member of parliament should understand what your rights are under our constitution, should understand the constitution and the process of the constitution, and understand that it's their job to object to any law or any statute that's being processed through parliament, and to say, we don't want that in it. We don't want that in it. Anything that affects your constitutional rights and your liberties, right? So your freedoms. And again, we haven't had that for the last 70 years. The first person that you could put in Parliament now that understands the Constitution enough to object to all of the laws that are put in place now and affect your liberties and your finances, etc. The first person to be elected or could be elected is me. And I want to go back and show you some things, and I will show you something else in a couple of minutes, right? So Hustings, for prospective parliamentary candidates, Thursday the 24th of April 2025. So Graham Moore, Hustings, where will I bring up I will bring up the European Defence Union sign up. What is that? Well, it's basically signing away the rights of the people today and your future generations to conscription to a command and control centre that was centralised in Brussels, with the Greeks or Greece controlling a large amount of our intelligence services, which is signing over the sovereignty of England to the European Union. And that is not acceptable. We cannot allow it to happen. And without knowing the detail of the pact that is being signed on the 19th of May, it is the equivalent of Keir Starmer doing exactly what Gordon Brown did, and others, including Edward Heath. Gordon Brown signed, in effect, the Lisbon Treaty. And when he did that, he didn't do it with a mandate. He wasn't elected into the position of Prime Minister, and he certainly never told the people the effect it would have. So again, I'm just emphasising to people, the only ones who are standing up for you is us, the English Constitution Society, and is me. Again, I am going to go into more detail, but Keir Starmer and all other parties are in agreement with this, including the Reform candidates, right? Because Nigel Farage has been fully briefed on this. This means war with Russia and conscription, right? So the location of the hustings tomorrow night, and we want as many people, no more war, right? To support us, you need to get there at 5:30. The doors open at 5:30, and we need to take seats, right? The more of us that turn up at that hustings and take the seats, and obviously in support of the English Constitution Society, you will show that these people do not have support, right? So no more war means no more war. We are not warmongers. England has never been a warmonger country. It has always been defensive. It is the British that are warmongers. And that's why the union has to end. Location, St Paul's Church, Helsby, WA6 9AB. And the date, so again, Thursday the 24th of April. It actually starts at 6:30 p.m. to finish no later than 8 p.m. And then we'll probably go into the pub for 2 pints and drive in back. Doors open at 5:30, so that's the time you've got to aim to get there. Again, all of our information is out there. That's the wrong thing on there. The English Constitution Society is it hasn't got a ver in it, right? It is just English Constitution Society. Hustings, where I will bring the European Defence Union sign up. Keir Starmer, all the other parties are in agreement, etc. Farage reform, this is betrayal. This means war with Russia and conscription up to the age of 60. Your kids are going to be put into the meat grinder, and then we're going for a beer. So that information is on there. Again, the link to this page is in the description of this video. So if anyone wants to come along, don't forget. I've been asked other questions, and I think it's only right that I tell people about this. I'm going to say only right. I'm going to see if I can bring it up on my screen, and hopefully I'll bring it up on my screen if it comes up on my screen, and it has done. Right, so someone has asked me, this is individual questions that's going out to the locals, right? If you live in south of England constituency and would spend most of the time in Parliament London when elected, how can you help individual constituents of Runcorn and Hillsby? For example, when would you be able to hold MP surgeries, right? And I've answered that by saying there are always two offices, one in Parliament and two, the other one is local, right? The greatest advantage is that we employ like-minded, this is crucially important, local people. So we employ, as a parliamentary office in Runcorn, I am your mouthpiece, but the people that we employ are local, right? And they're handpicked by me and another group of team, right? We've got another team and the rest of the team. Not establishment. We are not establishment nodding dogs. I choose that team. I'm not looking for degree educated idiots. I'm looking for real life experienced people. The advantage of having a housing associated rented flat in London is that I am 20 minutes away from Parliament and it's cheap. All important votes involving your rights and questions on your behalf would be put by a constitutionalist and an English rights specialist, me, right? Anyone that knows me knows I am not a nodding dog or puppet for the establishment. Ask the rebels on roundabouts or the stand in the parks where during lockdown I was out giving speeches on the marches, etc. Right? There is a plan not only for surgeries once a week, but social media voting and interaction via webinar and or mobile phone voting. Right? So I'm asking you what the concerns are, because my job is to air your grievances to Parliament and, really important, the Crown. Right? I've done these before, so people can voice their concerns about broader local issues, right? Not just England, but local issues. And I'll give you an example: incinerators. I've got experience of them. I've got one right by where I live, and my house, if you open the windows, gets covered in dust. If anyone tells you they put filters on it, it's all bollocks, right? Carbon capture nonsense being run by the Spanish. This carbon capture equipment are going to run it, etc. It's being run by the Spanish, and it's complete nonsense. It's this carbon bullshit, right? Tolls through various tolls, Runcorn Bridge, the link tunnel that takes you through and under the Mersey, etc. That you've all got relatively close access to. It's all run by the same Spanish company, right? We've got the same problems in Dartford. Dartford Tunnel and the Queen Elizabeth Bridge is run by the Spanish, right? So they're drawing off the money to European Union company, right? And they shouldn't be doing it. We should be looking after England and the English people, right? Then I say to you, literally, environmental damage to the area from chemical factories, etc., including those that harmed you as children, right? Your concerns will be raised. You will have a voice against all this and much more. The injustices in this area are a prime example. So anyone, and then I'm talking about mainly people who have been put into prison and their families are saying, listen, they were set up, this wasn't as it was put in the courts, etc. Most of the MPs today, if not all, are nodding dogs to accept the establishment and not raise issues where the establishment is wrong and there is an injustice. I will personally raise them issues, and that includes Lucy Letby and others in the area. Right. The difference with me is is happened to me. I don't trust the state. I don't trust the government, and I certainly don't trust the judiciary. Right? The whole thing is corrupt to the core, including the courts that have been enabled by family courts, which I consider to be a reincarnation of the Star Chamber, right? So again, council tax and its unlawful implementation, the Local Finance Act that allowed councils to do what they are doing now today was passed unlawfully, right? I will bring that up and I will be teeing up a group litigation order. In America, they call that a class action, right? So the next question is this: what difference can you make to Runcorn and Hillsby over and above other candidates? So I've said I love the North and I'm English, not British. The working class and the lower middle classes have no voice in Parliament. I am not left or right politics, right? I am about justice and right. The oldest old school advocates for Labour, and they're all gone, Tony Benn, even Keir Hardie, right? Keir Hardie hated immigration. Keir Hardie wanted independence for Scotland, right? But them people, Tony Benn and others, John Smith, right? They're nearer to my politics if you can insist that I am a politician, which I'm not, right? I don't class myself as a politician and I'm not a diplomat, right? As someone pointed out, everyone else was talking about the Pope dying and mourning and all that. And he said, you just said it exactly how it was. And I said, what was that? He said, the Pope, you said the Pope has popped his clogs. I said, well, he hasn't, he? Right? It's as simple as that. Keep it simple, communicate with the right people, and you will always get the people returning to you to listen to what you're saying, because I speak as you do. And I can also see the injustices that's gone out there, right? So whilst I support the oldest form of old school Labour, I am not a communist. I am not a fascist. Right? I'm an Englishman. I believe in rights and your individual rights against the state. So standing up for you and airing your grievances against the Crown and Parliament, I am fairly unique, and I am unique. There's not many people like that out there. I shouldn't be, but I am. I know the job of an MP and who I am there to represent, which is you, right? Not a party, you. Our party is about the brand, England. Our manifesto is the English Constitution, your rights. And what I'm doing is assisting you in claiming your rights. So about the Constitution, the person asked, I didn't think we had an English Constitution. If various places such as Northern Ireland and Wales are covered by it, why is this not called a British or UK Constitution? Now, this sounds like a simple question, but to explain it would take a whole chapter in a book. We have a constitution unique to England, and it was propagated via the Commonwealth. Ireland was a dominion of England. Wales is part of England and is common law, the same as Ireland. Scotland is the odd one out, as it's Roman law jurisdiction. That's not a good jurisdiction, by the way. The opposite to England, Wales, and Ireland. Common law is about freedom. Roman law is the opposite and is where tyranny comes from, right? That's why you ended up with the Glorious Revolution. Another way, thank you. Another way of putting it, if it's English and an Englishman's birthright, right, how come Northern Ireland is covered by it, right? So because of the common law system, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia are all common law jurisdictions. Prior to the Acts of Union, the Commonwealth existed, and the Union of the Crown 1603 was not political. Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland were both part of England and shared the rights. They also shared the rights of the Magna Carta and the English Bill of Rights. You can go and check that, right? The people who took it down were the communists in 1947, 1948, when they rewrote Southern Ireland's constitution and wrote out your protections, right? The Magna Carta is English, but the claim of right via the English Bill of Rights, 1689, gave the Scots access to it and its provisions via Section 3, which the British legally repealed, so ultra vires, in 1868, removing both the English, Welsh, Irish, Scottish access to it, right? Can you please explain the separation of powers and its benefits? Right, and again, this would create a whole. I need these type of questions to write this book that I am writing. Right, and I may even do it on a boat. Under the common law system of governance, three separate realms of the state existed: the executive, which we know as the monarchy. In America, they know it as the presidential executive. Right, they're the same powers. Parliament, both houses. So in America, you have got one side that deals with the people, and then the other side that deals with the Senate, right? So it's the same equivalent, right? And the judiciary, all courts in their these are all courts in their own right. So the executive, the Parliament, and the judiciary. Parliament can hold you in contempt and lock you in the tower. That power still exists, right? By the way, so can the king and so can the courts, right? So they all hold equal powers, but these powers were designed to be to challenge each other, right? It was a check and balance on the other. The other powerful and fourth power of separation is the jury. England is unique in having a nullification right of jurors to say you're all wrong, right? So all three of them lot are wrong, and the jurors are the only people who can do that with jury nullification in individual cases. You must remember that it's an individual case, and find someone not guilty, and it is unrepealable, right? That, coupled with the Convention Parliament of 1688, makes you, not Parliament, sovereign. However, the British Parliament have tried to remove the knowledge of your sovereignty by removing this information from your education and illegally repealing parts of our constitution by stealth. In other words, they never told anyone, right? They buried it in legislation. The reason they don't like me, educating on the people on the real and wholly unrepealable English constitution, giving you access to your birthright. Administrative law is unlawful, technically, right? It is alien to England and has been imposed on people through a lie. The greatest lie ever told: Parliament is sovereign. It is not. The people are, via the English Constitution, and you can prove that in a number of ways. The Constitution is the will of the people, statute is the will of Parliament, the common law controls statute, statute is only law if the people agree to be governed by it. All right, you're governed by consent. Please can you, so if the people withdraw consent, right, I do not consent, Ashby versus White, 1703, right? All three of the realms of the state are brought into question, right? And then another question is this: please, can you explain why the whole free man of the land and straw man ideas are not part of the Constitution and not useful in court for our rights and freedoms? And I've put, because it's a psyop, right, to make you look like fools. Most of these people have no understanding of the Constitution or the law, right? Some of the stuff I've heard from Free Man of the Land is absolute bullshit, including some people who say to have a contract you must have a wet signature. Absolute bollocks, right? That is completely untrue, right? So all I'm saying to you is you do have to prove a contract, but it doesn't have to be in writing. It doesn't even have to be in writing, let alone signed, right? You can have a verbal contract with someone, and it used to be in the old days, my word is my bond, right? So people need to really understand this. I've got a big, thick book, funny enough, that Mark gave me, which is the Common Law of England. It tells you all about contracts, all about contract law, right? And it tells you in detail, very old book, and it's all in there. So what the free man of the land are talking about, they've never read them books, and they're absolute talking crap, right? Some people who are keen on what you have to say still encourage this whole straw man concept and things people should do with their birth certificate. Right? This is all about legal fiction. It's very frustrating. Some words from you may help. All right? That's the question that's been put to me. This has come from a large group on Telegram, right? So and they are local and they are in Runcorn. So corporations are. This is my answer. Corporations are part of the structure of England. Even Sir Edward Coke, they call him the father of the common law. He isn't the father; he's one of them. In a famous case of 1612, stated that. But the officers of corporations are abusing their positions. The birth certificate nonsense I have seen in courts is exactly that nonsense. Legal fictions do exist and exist for a reason. Anyone of you could apply to the Attorney General tomorrow to borrow his legal fiction for so whatever the name of the current Attorney General, which I believe is some Asian lady, right? You can ask, make an application to the Attorney General and say, can I borrow your legal fiction because I've got a claim against the government or I've got a claim against the monarch and I believe it's in it must be in the public interest. If the Attorney General says, "Yeah, well, we're too busy for this, so I'll give you a certificate," he or she gives a certificate signing over for that case their Attorney General legal fiction to you. The judge will ask you in the High Court, "Have you got a certificate for the legal fiction of Attorney General?" Blah blah blah. In this case, you then go, "Yes, sir." Right? You give it to the judge. That looks at it, sees it's there, right, from the Attorney General, and then you bring your case in the Attorney General's name. So it will say Attorney General versus, for example, the Crown. Right? That's a legal fiction. That does not. And by the way, the King himself is a legal fiction. The monarchy is a legal fiction. Right? The King of England, as a person, is separate to the King of England as the legal fiction. That does not mean you don't have to pay costs, or if you misrepresent your case, you will not be sent to prison. Right? So misrepresentation, any of them things, fraud, etc. If you've brought a case and it's complete nonsense, or you've done something you think you're going to get away with it because you're using a legal fiction, it ain't happening. Right? Or it shouldn't happen. In the same way, we have corporate manslaughter charges levelled at company directors who cause the deaths of employees or the public. Right? I'm not suggesting to you it's quite difficult to bring these cases, but you can bring them. Right? This is not complex. In fact, it's simple. If you do the crime, you do the time, right? That's the old saying, and your legal fiction, if you want to call it that, of a birth certificate means absolutely jack shit to the judge that's sitting in front of you and says, "Did you commit this fucking crime or not?" Right? And if you say my legal fiction did, they will say guilty, take him down. That's as simple as that, right? There's no bullshit with it. So legal fiction or no legal fiction, company cannot be charged with treason. It's a legal fiction and has no soul, right? That refers back to Sir Edward Coates' case of 1612. The company can't do that. So, but the officers of the company can be charged with treason. They were in control of the legal fiction of a company. Right? This goes back to corporate manslaughter or whatever way you want to look at it. So people have got to stop this nonsense, right? Because you're just making yourself look like mugs, and the people doing it, it's a psyop to make you look like idiots. And the free man of the land, in my opinion, are communists, right? And that's why they're doing it. They're just making you look like idiots, and especially the ones who are telling you not to vote. Because the only people that are getting power and have turned this country into an absolute fucking living nightmare, right, are Marxists, right? So again, next question: can the ECP prevent our country from going cashless and prevent snooping into people's bank accounts? And I think there was a recent act passed or to be passed, but and then the person says, "But forgive me, I can't think of which one it is now." Not a problem, right? And then I've stated we have published some years ago an English Digital Bill of Rights in addition to the English Bill of Rights, adding to your rights in modern terms, right? The first part of that states, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen in a couple of seconds, and in fact, it might be easier if I show it to you now. I will bring it up on the screen because I think this is really important. People don't realise it exists, so I'm going to put it back out there. Let me see if I can copy that. It's not allowing me to copy it. Right. First two parts of the bill preamble recognising the need for protection of individual privacy and freedom in the digital age. This Bill of Rights is established, Digital Bill of Rights, is established to secure the rights of all individuals against any infringement, right, of their digital identity and to prohibit the use of harmful digital technologies. Prohibition of digital currency. The use of digital currencies that allow for the tracking and monitoring of financial transactions is prohibited. It is strictly forbidden to create a central bank digital currency. Physical cash, whether gold coins, silver, or paper, must never be removed from the citizen's use. It is well worth reading the whole thing, right? And it has been designed and written to protect us and future generations. The next one is, what is the recent issue with the EU Defence Agreement? Keir Starmer has signed us up to the European Defence Union, meaning our military, including nuclear deterrence, command and control, weapons and ammunition manufacturer, will all be controlled by Brussels and Greece. This includes conscription, right? And finally, that means you go into the meat grinder. And that's why they want a war in Ukraine with Russia, right? And finally, from Nova, and this is a dog, do doggies have rights also? Under English common law, dogs and statute, dogs and animals have rights not to be intentionally harmed in any way. It is not being enforced, right? So that's the quick answer to that. What I need to do now is go back to my screen, which I intend to do now. Hopefully you could all see that. He was actually, I don't know what he was looking at, but let me see if I can bring this in. There it is. Right, so I'm going to show you this on the screen. How am I going to make that go smaller? I can't make it go smaller. Why can't it make it go smaller? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick that up on the screen, bring that up there, put that back over there, private, all. Here is our Digital Bill of Rights, right? So I'm going to put that out there for anyone to go and watch it and see what it is. So again, happy St. George's Day. Right, I'll be wearing my bowler hat. You see my bowler hat, haven't you? There you go. Right. There you go. Like that. I've got another hat there. Right, so I'm going to put that on there. I was given that today. So Keck and others. Right, let me see if I can show you this online. So I'm going to bring that up now as we speak. I apologise. I'm trying to find this. All right, and then we're going to go offline. You'll protect your Digital Bill of Rights. So on your screen, if you go to our website, you will see it. I've sent the link out here. Digital Bill of Rights for Protection of Individual Privacy and Freedom, English Constitution Party. There it is, Lex Terrae, and the preamble, recognising the need for protection of individual privacy and freedom in the digital age. This Bill of Rights is established to secure the rights of all individuals against any infringement of their digital identity and to prohibit the use of harmful digital technologies. Prohibition of digital currency. So there it is. I've already read it out. Right to digital identity. Every individual has the right to control and protect their digital identity. This includes, but is not limited to, their DNA, facial identifiers, voice, print or pattern, fingerprints, retina scans, and gait. A gait is the way you walk. The use of any form of biometric data must be with the explicit consent of the individual concerned. Prohibition of harmful digital technologies. The use of any digital technology that can cause harm to individuals, including but not limited to psychological warfare, manipulation, and exploitation, is prohibited. Right to privacy. Every individual has the right to privacy in their digital communications, including emails, phone calls, and online activities. The collection, monitoring, or interception of such communication without a warrant or consent is prohibited. Right to digital due process. Every individual has the right to due process in a digital world, including the right to a fair trial and legal representation in physical court with human jurors. Judges and representatives, including common law lawyers, not governed by the bar. Right? So that means people like me would represent you in a real court. Prohibition of data misuse. The misuse or unauthorized sharing of an individual's personal data is prohibited, including data collected by governments and corporations and any other entities. Any other entities. The right to informational self-determination. Again, we keep bringing up this right to self-determination. Every individual has the right to control the use of their personal data, including the right to know what data has been collected and the right to demand its deletion. Prohibition of digital surveillance. The use of digital surveillance technologies, including facial recognition, for the purposes of identifying and tracking individuals without their consent or warrant, is prohibited. Right to encryption. Every individual has the right to use encryption technologies to protect their digital communication and data. Prohibition of harmful AI. The development and use of artificial intelligence that can cause harm to individuals or groups, including autonomous weapons, is prohibited. Principle of individual sovereignty. All biometric data is unique to the individual and is considered their sovereign property. The collection or use of such data for any purpose without the individual's explicit consent is prohibited. Right to digital literacy. Every individual has the right to access and acquire digital literacy skills to protect their digital identity and privacy. The use of psychographic profiling and targeting advertising to manipulate individuals into making decisions against their own interests or to influence their political views without their knowledge or consent. This type of manipulation undermines the principles of free and fair elections and infringes on individuals' rights to privacy, autonomy, and freedom of thought. Therefore, such practices should be prohibited and subject to legal penalties. Right? So, when you're talking in front of your computer and all of a sudden you're talking about a bed or I'm going to bed and a load of adverts come up with people selling beds, that would be illegal. Right? No government or non-government organisation, charity or otherwise, or likewise nature, can interfere with the international human rights of self-determination of a country and its people by digital means or other means. Right? Why is that important? Because we're being oppressed and suppressed, not only by the mainstream media, but by alternative media, by YouTube, by Facebook, by all of these groups, and we've already had that acknowledged by Facebook in America with Texas Exit, right? So they've throttled Texas Exit, and once they proved it in court, the court said, take them throttles off. And they did, and all of a sudden it exploded. It's a bit like us talking now, right? And then we start saying to people, turn up here, it's about England, like it's about your rights, etc. And all these people turn up, right? The main reason for that is because we're on Rumble, and it's not being throttled. It is being attacked by the British because they don't like what we're saying. This digital Bill of Rights establishes the rights of individuals to protect their digital identity and privacy in the digital age. It also prohibits the use of harmful digital technologies and establishes the principle of individual sovereignty over biometric data. Right? And that solves quite a few problems. Let me go back and see if it mainly. Did you all see that up on your screen? And do you all understand exactly what that meant? Right? To some people, I've read through it pretty quick, but at the end of the day, we've written that as a protection mechanism. I was asked locally, is there anything that we can do to protect ourselves in the digital age? And I said, we've already done it, right? So what you would be doing would be, by electing us in Runcorn, is we will start causing the problems. It doesn't mean that we automatically get that in, but we can put it through as a private members bill and have it voted on, right? And then we can start to majorly campaign on it, and people will understand who and what we are. Who are you talking about there? You're always having a go at who? Let's have a look. Stuff from DD. If DD wins in Uncle, I would love a field day with June Slater. Oh, I'll tell you what, she's a nutter. June Slater has literally been talking shit for months. Right, she's just built up her account on social media, and now she's attacking Rupert Lowe. Right, I can tell everyone now there is a plan in place for removing all of the illegals. It's not difficult at all, and it involves using one of our islands that we've just spent 285 million building a fucking airport. Right. And I'm telling you, that's where them people are going, and we will give the locals jobs. Right, so everyone should understand that. Pierce, happy St George's Day. Let me have a look and see if there's anything else out there. The messages are coming in thick and fast. Let me have a look. Anything else coming up there? So again, I am really grateful for everybody that turned up today at the St George's Day beer and meetup. I really love watching people and listening to people, and everyone would just seem so happy that we was all together being the English, and it was fantastic, right? And again, lots of lovely ladies there, some wonderful gentlemen there as well. And again, people don't realise how much that energises me. It energises me having the English flag around me, having English people wrapped around me, and all knowing that we're fighting for the same cause. And again, if they allowed us, to keep, if we had real free access, England would be free within weeks, possibly a couple of months, but they don't. Right? Australia put the invasion on an island. It was effective. Again, we've got an island we can do that with. Again, I've said this to people. It's easy to do it. Right? Let me have a look. Let's see the English flag out there. Go on then, hit the English flag. Let's see if we can put the English flag up. Let's see if I can put that up while we're talking. Let's see if the English flag is up on that screen. Look at the English flag coming up on that screen. Look. Let's see the English flag. Everyone's throwing in the English flag. That's what I like to see. Adam H.E., Slimming, Real. What's this one here? Everyone's coming up there. English till I die. Everyone out there. Look at that. Look. All we've got is the English flag going up there. That's what I'd like to see. We had a wonderful day out today. It was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't be more pleased. Music fan 7, how you doing, darling? Let me have a quick look on here. So don't forget what else we've got on here. Tomorrow night, we need as many people to turn up as early as possible at 2. Let me put it back on your screen. The Hustings, right? And I've got the address with it somewhere, and I haven't. Oh, I'm sure I had the full address here somewhere. I'm sure I did have the full address somewhere. It's St Paul's Church, right? There it is. It's on the actual screen there, right? And you should be able to go and find that. And we need to get there at 8:30 because we need to take the seats up, especially where we're disabled, etc. And we'll put that information out there. Let me make sure you all got it, right? But the link to that is in the description of this video. Right, so let me have a quick look and see what else I'm doing there. Well done, and thank you, Danny Dragon. And again, listen, the objective of this is to at least get our deposit back. We are being absolutely oppressed and suppressed in the real world, right? And the public need to know. The more people that join us, we will write a letter right? I'll redraft the letter and we'll write to the White House and ask for a declaration from the White House that England is a captive nation. Explain everything to the new American administration. Wish I could be there to work commitments. No worries. Who's that one? We need as many people there tomorrow night, and Saturday is a biggie, right? Because that's the action day. And what we don't want to do on an action day is not have enough people there with the boards, with handing out leaflets, for flying our flags, and everyone understanding exactly who we are, right? And again, we're not the bad guys. We're the ones who are standing up for the disabled, for the retirees, for the stitch-up that has come from the Labour Party, the Conservatives who are not Conservatives, the Labour Party that says it represents the working class. It does nothing. Definitely, they hate the working class, right? The Conservatives, who definitely are not conservative. Conservative means traditionalist. They're not traditional at all, right? And then you've got the Liberal Democrats who are not liberal, right? And then of course you've got reform, and you can't reform the British. You couldn't reform the USSR, right? So it dissolved. You can't reform the European Union, so we left, and you can't reform the British, so we've got to leave. It's simple as that. It's common sense, right? The same reasoning to leave the European Union applies to the British Union. What was that? Don't forget, sharing is caring, and hit the like button. I can't go and have a look at the moment to see how many people are actually watching, but hit the like button, right? If you hit the like button, it goes out there. Don't forget to share the video. The more you share the video, everyone will see it. And don't forget to come and follow me. I'm sure Tracy will have a look. Come and follow me on Twitter. I can't remember what my numbers are. I'll have to go and have a look for you. I'm going to show you something else in a couple of minutes as well. Let me have a look. Why it's taking so long to load, I don't know. We'll have a look. Right, so I'm not going to go on for much longer now. But the English Constitution Society, it's not the English Constitution Society, it is just EnglishConstitutionSociety.com. And again, we've got 2,742 followers. It's going up rapidly. And I do want people to understand this. Everyone should listen to me, what I'm about to tell you, right? Elon Musk has said that the main censors that were controlling Twitter, right, were external to Twitter, and they was funded by USA aid, right? He's taken most of them people out. And now all of a sudden we started seeing our numbers go up. It's still being funded in London, right? Because they're crooks. So we've still got problems with that in London. And hopefully Elon Musk is going to see that and understand that. Right, so again, JD Vance says US will wash its hands of what? Don't know. Beer. Everyone's out there. So again, we had a great time today. I just want to make sure everyone gets this as well. Plenty of people still sending me messages. Let me see if I can bring this one up on the screen. Put that on there. Jimmy, Jimmy. I wonder where he is. I've sent him a message to see if he can come back to me. He was coming Saturday and he's got some issue. I just wanted to make sure everything was all right. There's the one I wanted to show you. So again, every communist revolution has been shipwrecked on the Rock of England, and I sent that today. And I want everyone to copy it. I'm going to copy it and send it out. I want everyone, literally. Let's see if I can stop sharing. Let me see if I can put that out to people. Retweet this, right? Bookmark it, retweet it, put a comment on it, and Elon Musk will see it, right? Because that was actually said. That's in writing. Thanks, DD. Good night and good bless. So I'm going to say to everyone out there, don't forget to turn up for the Hustings tomorrow night. Don't forget. And again, I'm going to have to put this screen up there. I don't think I've got one up there. That's a St George's Day one. What if I can put the screen up? Let me see if I can show if I can How can I put that up there? Let me see if I can find it before I do. Right, let's see these going up there. Let me see if I can get some notifications put up there. Watching me, Elon Musk. Well done. I'm already getting people retweeting that. I do not consent. Let's have a look and see what's up there. That's it anyway. I am going to shoot off. Try and get there tomorrow. It's major. The more of us that turn up there, don't forget best behaviour. But you're obviously there to make sure that they know that the English Constitution Party has got. And the more you do that in front of them other candidates, they're going to realise that England is getting pissed off. So there you go. Right. The Reformers just taken on the same baton passed by Lib Lab Con. Yeah, they are. I absolutely agree. There's so many things that people don't realise what these people are actually doing. And everyone is being conned. You're being absolutely conned by the Reform Party, without any doubts whatsoever. And sticking a nodding dog of a magistrate for 20 years that has done everything that the establishment has asked, right? So I just want to make sure it's there. Martin, using AI to expose the cracks in how the deep state controls us on a local, national, global scale, empowering true freedom, both individually and effective, when the moral engine meets its conviction machine. There you go. That's, what's this one? That's a very good one. I like that. Have a look at that. That is a nuts. I've got to go through some of these. Chris Ossie is making some really good memes. What one's that one? Very good. Very good memes. I do not consent is another one. Oh, look at these memes. I never see all these. Maybe I should go through that. I think I should go through these. Before I sign off, I've got to show those because they are the nuts. Right, let me see if I can. There's one I've got to try and save if I can, and then put it on the screen when I last go up there. Really good stuff. On the meme side of this, fantastic. Let me come off of that one. Go back to live chat. I can't remember where I was now. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can bring it quickly. Right. This is the nuts, right? Look at some of these memes. Right, there's one there. Right. Again, let's see if I can bring it up on the screen so you can see it a bit better. The English Constitution Society is a pedagogical organisation devoted to the advancement and celebration of English culture, Protestant religion, a cornerstone of the English Constitution, historically safeguarded by foundational constitutional instruments such as the Bill of Rights and the Acts of Settlement 1701, the Common Law Constitution, constitutional conventions, really important, statutes and inherent English rights. And there you've got across that screen the Magna Carta, the Petition of Right, Habeas Corpus, Coronation Oath Act, Bill of Rights, Crown and Parliament Act Recognition and Acts of Settlement. Graham Moore, but that needs changing on the bottom there. It's not the English Constitution Society, it's English Constitution Society.co.uk. And we're hoping to get the other one redirected to our site at some stage. Right, let me see if I can take that one down. And then I'll bring another one. Look at this one. This is fucking nuts. Flags of England. Bedfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire, Cambridgeshire, Cheshire, Cornwall, County Durham. I love County Durham. Cumberland. Cumberland is lovely and all. Derbyshire, Devon. Oh, Devon's lovely and all. Dorset. That ain't bad. Essex. Right, and I know women from every one of these counties. I've got to tell you something, right? And they're all fucking gorgeous. and I only like women. I am not one of those. What are they called, Mark? Oh, homosexuals. That's it, right? So, Gloucestershire, Hampshire, another go. Those are lovely women in Hertfordshire, and then you've got Hertfordshire and Hertfordshire, Herefordshire and Hertfordshire, right? Huntingdonshire, right? Kent, right? Nice women in Kent. I know some nice men in Kent as well, but we'll stick to the women. Right? Lancashire. Have I met any nice women in Lancashire? Oh, I have. Yeah. Right. So Lincolnshire, Norfolk, Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire's a night. They've just put a massive English flag up. Northumberland, Northern Ireland, our fantastic Northern Ireland, Nottinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Rutland, Shropshire, Somerset, Staffordshire, Suffolk, Surrey, Sussex, Warwickshire, Westmoreland, Wiltshire, Worcestershire, Yorkshire. Right, they're all up there. Look, so we're going back to our traditional counties, right? Because that's the way England was governed. And there it is. There, all that information. There's another one here. This is another good one. Look at this one. Look, can you see this? Look at that. The English Bill of Rights, 1689, was protected, so were our ancient laws and charters. Parliament illegally repealed them and then declared themselves sovereign. The Constitution is sovereign and the rule of law protected by the oaths that bind our society. I don't know who writes this stuff, but he's doing quite well. Right? Take back these rights, passive resistance, the difference between the Bill of Rights and the European Convention. The Bill of Rights, 1688, the Declaration and Declaration of Reasons are God-given rights inalienable. The European Convention of Human Rights are qualifiable. The government are judges, and judges decide whether the right applies. Here is an outline. This is just one reason you are seeing tyranny and why the acts of union must be made known. A treaty is sovereign to sovereign, not sovereign to subject. The acts of union is in bad faith for subversion of the English and Scottish constitutions. There you go. All right. And again, people need to understand what that means. It's not difficult. It's because you haven't been taught about it. Here's another one. Look at this one. These are the nuts, right? I do not consent. There it is. And he's actually showing this. This is another account you want to follow, right? Active participation. By casting a spoilt ballot, individuals are actively participating in the electoral process rather than abstaining altogether. It signifies that they are taking the time and effort to engage with the democratic system and express their dissatisfaction with the available choices. And we are unique as a country to have this available for us. Expressing dissent. Spoiling a ballot is a form of peaceful process and a legitimate way to express dissent. It allows individuals to exercise their freedom of expression by visually and symbolically demonstrating their dissatisfaction with the current state of affairs. It's important to remember that democracy thrives on the ability to voice dissent and challenge the status quo. Dissatisfaction with the options. Spoiling a ballot communicates a clear message that none of the candidates or parties on the ballot represent voters' views, values, or interests adequately. It demonstrates a refusal to support any of the existing options and sends a powerful message that the electorate demands better choices. Holding the system accountable. By casting a spoilt ballot, individuals, and it must say, I do not consent, right? By casting a spoilt ballot, individuals are questioning the legitimacy of the electoral system itself. They are raising awareness about its shortcomings and demanding improvements. Spoilt ballots can spark discussions, debates, and even reforms aimed at creating a more inclusive and responsive democratic process. Right, so there it is on the screen, right in front of you, of how to do that. The case of Ashby versus White, 1703, is a notable precedent in the context of electoral rights and the principle of government by consent. In this case, the court recognised that a voter has a legal right to exercise their vote freely and without obstruction. Graham Moore. Only cowards and fools abstain from voting. Abraham Lincoln. Right, so there's the information. Everything's on there. Only a few things that need to be changed, which is what we've got to change on there. Right, so again, here's another one. Oh, here it is. There's the Hustings. So where I'll bring up European Defence Union sign up. Keir Starmer and all other parties are in agreement. This means war with Russia and conscription. Location: St Paul's Church, Helsby, WA6 9AB. Date: Thursday the 24th of April, 6:30 p.m. to finish no later than 8 p.m. Then we're going for a pint. Doors open at 5:30. I need people to be there prior to 5:30 and take the seats up. Right, and again, plenty of disabled and retirees, and we can tell these people, especially ladies, listen, they've just nicked 20 grand off you. And again, there's the one today who was in that pub today. Lovely boozer, by the way. And we took up a whole bar. It was just us in one bar, but we literally took over the gaff. Putin gives Trump iconic painting. Yeah, and it's a lovely painting it was too. Why are we sick? For various reasons, and there he is there. So let me just make sure everyone's got that, and don't forget to give. Where is he? I am actually following him. I'm trying to see where he is. So there he is again. There, he's got 119 followers. Right, so you need to go and give him some follows. And to give him some follows, I will send this out to everyone. Everyone understands where it is. You can go and nick some of them memes. I'm not nicking, you know what I mean. Here's the Hustings, and then don't forget we've got the main event on Saturday as well. We need everyone and their dog to turn up to that one. Disabled, retirees, working people. Don't forget it's on a Saturday to try and help as many people as possible. And what I'm going to do is put that in there for now, and then I'm going to say good night, God bless again, and don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Right? That's it. I am now going to try it and chill out and see if I can get some sleep tonight. If anyone wants to go to the count, which will be the early hours of the 2nd of May, so the 1st of May is the election day, right? And then at 10 o'clock the count starts. But so 1st of May, right through the evening until the early hours of the morning. It'll probably go on till about 5, maybe 6 in the morning. But we need to get the maximum amount of people out to vote for us, right? Because we need to give them a smack in the eye. That's it. I will love you and leave you. God bless. Tiddly poo. Au revoir. And I will see you, for those who are going, tomorrow evening. Mark's going, isn't you? Mark's going. That's it. Thank you, Graham. And the team. Good night. God bless. Don't forget we're going out for a beer, Paul Sefton. Maybe even be. I won't be able to do it Friday. I might have to be able to have a few beers on Friday. Don't know. But I can't drink too much because I'm driving. Edam, night all. Good night. God bless. And tiddly poo. Let's hit the button.